Good day, everybody, wherever you are, and welcome to Thoughts on Thursday. And today we're going to continue our discussion from last week when we explored living our best life despite the various dysfunctions we may have. And we were having a great discussion, and then time was up. And I've been thinking about it this week. And I kind of wondered, what does what does best even mean? Is it best in that moment, like comparing options, or do we have some interior set of components to best life? And what do we mean by life? This life here, or the life in the big picture, or the ongoing lives we live? It's so mysterious. So I'm just going to throw that out to you guys. Yes, Chelsea.
Um, I also have been thinking about it, and I'm certain there are no wrong choices. I'm certain there's no wrong life, but I feel like if there is a directional pull, it has to, it just has to do with going towards what feels, I think it's all vibrational. I think it's just you can make this choice or that choice, and just little tweaks sometimes just feel a little like the vibration is just a little more coherent or calm. But I think living your life wrong has its good qualities too, you know? Like you learn from it, whatever it is, it's just learning.
Mhm.
But I've kind of tweaked a little in a few choices, and I just feel a little more harmony, and it just feels vibrational, the goodness about it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Chelsea. Doreen?
Yeah, yeah, Chelsea, I'm with you. I'm all about the favorite mistakes. And I love that Sheryl Crow wrote a whole song about that. And I think some country western singers may have too. So it's super important to like have something that's like really awesome that you didn't plan and maybe didn't feel like it was totally in the right direction. Really what I was thinking though is for me what I'm pulling in, and it's kind of what I'm playing with right now in my life, is imagination
Mhm.
and how to be the prayer, how to feel your vibration in such a way that you've already received your best life, whatever that is for you. And and your best life is anything you can imagine, and you wouldn't imagine it if it wasn't already yours. And so these are just all kind of concepts I'm throwing out there that we all know already. And so I'm just curious to see how everyone else plays with that. But recently I'd really dialed in on not just the imagination, but the inner dialogue, which is the treasure.
Yeah.
And that's how it's been explained to me. And the vibration comes first, and then the thoughts will come. And I'm getting the hang of that. I think I kind of was doing that a few years ago, and then I kind of get distracted by all the information that's out there. I'm playing with other concepts, but that's a basic one. And for me, it defines best.
Mhm. Yeah, I think you're right. That inner dialogue um, is so important because sometimes it's just what you're thinking, what you're analyzing, but it's also the guidance we receive comes to us in our interior dialogue or even monologue.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, we've got to listen, pay attention. Yeah, Cecilia, did you have something?
Yes, I did actually. Yes. I would like to offer that, like Chelsea said, there are no wrong choices. Actually, everything that's happening is simply what's happening. We, in every moment, it's all moments. in every moment, we get to choose how we are going to respond to it. And it's never going to be wrong. It's just going to be what's appropriate for you. Are you making the most of this moment? And I say that because um, it might be a joyful expression or a very happy, response to whatever's happening, but it might not be. Because I remember there was this client that I was working with, and I saw her for the reconnection. It was a 2 session part, so I saw her twice. And so on one day we did the reconnection, and she was this beautiful, beautiful, you know 70 something, very tall, slender, refined Swedish woman. She was just beautiful and very refined and very put together. And I did the day one of the reconnection for her, and it was just so beautiful. And then when she came back for the next day, I just said, "What was your experience since the last time I saw you?" And she said, "After I left, I was driving home and somebody hit me in my car, and there was an accident, and um I was angry, and I yelled, and I responded in a way I've never responded before, and I was just shouting, and I was just stomping, and I was just this da, 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 da. and and she said, and it was amazing. I've never done that before. I felt like I could hear my voice. I had my voice." And she had never allowed herself to be outside of this prim proper behavior that she'd always lived. And she said, "It was the most freeing thing I've ever known. I needed to do that, to be that." And she said that was her healing. That was just the most beautiful thing for her. And she got to express herself in a way she wouldn't allow herself to before. And so, whatever that moment is, however you express it, that's yours. Are you living your biggest life? Are you allowing yourself to reach the boundaries and go beyond? For her, that was a healing for her, you know, that whole experience. And so, don't judge it, just be in it and live it fully. That's what I want to share.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Cecilia.
Mhm.
That's so enlightening. Yeah. Drin.
Yeah, Cecilia, I love that too because it made me realize that there's this sort of what I was sharing about just being clear in your imagination and your vibration, and your thoughts will match your vibration. Because for me, that's, if I'm grounded in that, then I'm receiving the world. I'm receiving what is. I can accept what is, and I can love what is. And what is going to be a little different depending on where my vibration's at as well. Um, that was just a super interesting connection that I made listening to Cecilia's share. Is all I wanted to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday on Facebook, I posted this idea that when the world around you is on fire, being creative, doing your work, writing, drawing, painting, gardening is an act of rebellion. And I think it's not quite that. It's a way of using the ashes from that burning world to start over again. Every time I pick up a piece of chalk or put a seed in the ground or wave at someone, it's a way of rebuilding, um, stepping forward. And in every moment, there's a way. It's like Solomon says, wherever you are, there's a healing that can take place. And every time we create, we're putting a bandage on something.
I saw that post, Mary, and I between friends, you do know that the perception that the world is burning is a perception, and
Yes.
that, yeah,
Yeah. For some people, they're seeing it completely differently, and that's their vision. Um, I have to
And
allow
neither
that.
way is correct. The world, I don't know, I don't think it's burning and I don't think it's perfect. I think neither are correct. I think it just is. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Even like, for years, many of us have lived very peaceful lives, but everywhere on the globe, someone else has been facing um, tragedies and triumphs and unfairness and beneficence and wonderful things and horrible things. And the old world just keeps on turning. And we're here for the lesson we chose or
Yep.
lessons. I always think mine is in patience um, every day. But yeah, just keep on spinning that globe.
The perception of what's happening out there, those are the boulders rolling in. Just like I think Renee was in Solomon yesterday, but we were talking about the part of Solomon Speaks where he's like, there's a rock, it keeps rolling back towards you. There's a diamond in that rock. You keep picking up the rock, you throw it away, keeps rolling back. And it's just like that's just whatever the perception is of what's happening, that's just the rock rolling towards you again, you know. Um, Also in that meeting, we were talking with somebody who's about to get married, I think, and I just had this mental vision of, there's this wedding going on in this building, and you've planned it, and you've got your wedding dress, and it's your perfect moment in this building, but outside the building, and I even thought of you, Mary, because I know you're really good at AI images, but like outside that building of the marriage happening and the perfect moment, there's like these boulders rolling in, getting ready to come in, to they're like wedding gifts for the married couple.
Yeah, we just don't know what we're going to receive when we open our arms. Um, Sometimes it's boulders and sometimes it's a bouncing dog. Yeah, Adrian.
I was just wondering if the boulders aren't just someone's imagination ready to come in and see what's going on with your imagination. And what I was just thinking was, we've got, is it 8 billion people here on the planet? So we've got 8 billion different imaginations. And
Yeah.
maybe it's a little chaotic. And so, and it's certainly exciting. I mean, if I was out there in the universe as an extraterrestrial, I'd be tuning my television into the planet Earth as well.
Yeah. And sometimes we're the boulder in someone else's life. We come crashing in. Like I'm sure my students used to think of it that way when I would come in and hand out something they were supposed to do. Yeah, the boulder. Yes, Louis Trez.
Very interesting that I have heard about that the Eastern people say is when you are married to a person, that was your, as you entered part of your life plan, and that person is going to be the perfect person to teach you your shortcomings and your good points that you are still needed to learn. And I said, yeah, but what about all the people who's getting divorced? I said, yes, exactly. That is why you had to get that process. And that person you have chosen to get married with is the perfect person for your personal growth. So I just want to share that.
Yeah, yeah, and that could apply to any person who enters our lives, um, even those who leave it,
Yes,
um,
true.
leave behind a lesson sometimes. Yeah, it's it's simple, but it's
I
complex.
love your painting. I love your painting.
Oh, thank you so much. It's not quite finished yet, but we'll see where it goes.
It's to me like when you are melting copper or gold into that hot little thing, and it is all the ambers and colors and things, but what is going to come out there, you know?
I know. I wish I could make it explode off the canvas. Who knows? We'll see what I can figure out. I'm not good at chemistry, though. It's, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Chels.
Okay. But
I
all I wanted to share is how some people think that your marriage is, you know, your partner is there for a very specific reason and things like that. And yes, those two that was yesterday talking about it, they are in for a real hot rocks that will really shape each other through the time.
Yeah, we're all in each other's furnace, getting molded into something or cracking, breaking, becoming something new.
yeah. I was just going to expand on what Doreen said a little in her describing the how many people are on the planet and how each one of them has their own imagination. And um, I was wondering who else here went and watched that movie, The Life of Chuck, because Jillian Lear recommended it. Did anyone go see The Life of Chuck? I did, and at the movie theater, and it has a little bit of that, of like, of of you know, each person's universe is their universe. It's all happening right here between these two fingers, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, Chelsea, I haven't seen it, but it's been recommended to me as well. So I'll
it's
probably gonna have
yeah,
to pick that one up eventually. It sounds pretty
it's not
moving.
the perfect movie. It's not perfect,
No.
but there's parts of it that, and I wonder how it compares to, like reading the short story.
Hmm.
Because I think
And
it was, yeah, I think it's a Stephen King.
yes, it is. That's right. Yeah. Which he does some brilliant stuff. There's a couple things that he's done I love. Um, but that makes me think, Chelsea, just in terms of each individual imagination. And it's really dawning on me in my interactions with other people, um, particularly people I don't know well. It's like I have no idea what's going on in this person's imagination. And so I understand why people talk about the weather. I think it's a really good idea sometimes.
Mhm.
I used to hate small talk, but I understand it now that I understand what people may have going on in their imaginations that I'm completely clueless to. So
Yeah. Yeah, small
And
talk is a kind of code. We engage in it because we care about the person, but we also may not want to go deep into whatever little, sometimes darkness or sometimes stuff I just don't understand, but you still care about them. So we care about each other's weather.
or even strangers. I mean, or even the opposite of strangers. Like we don't know what's going on in the person we ran into at the store's head. But you know what? Even like the closest people in our life, like who we are in their life, the role we play in their life in our own little movie, we have a picture of the role we play, but in their head, we're like this whole different character
Hmm. Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
yeah, with different internal mind workings according to them,
Yeah.
motivations.
Indeed. Now, Anka, did you have something?
I wanted to say that you expect me to say something because I don't know what to say. It's, I don't know. For many subjects, I don't know what to say because it's too deep for me. Some I don't know.
Mhm.
Some subjects are I barely understand them, and I don't know what to say about.
Well, I'm glad you shared that because I think all of us feel the same way. We're just, I think that's why a lot of us use so many metaphors. Oh, it's like this, but it's never quite like that. Sometimes
I think I when you speak, I imagine billion things, but they centrate me and I make a thought about it, and I just that I wanted to say.
Thank you. Yeah, Chelsea.
So I think since we're such a small group of friends, that I would encourage you to interrupt and say, hey, let's slow down. Hey, what do you mean by that? And just, yeah. And since, say, hey, for a minute, that sounds cool, but what do you guys mean by that? Like, I would say, go ahead and slow us down. And I would rather have you there with us in the conversation than us going too fast for you. So feel free to interrupt us and say, hey, wait, what exactly do you mean
I
by that?
don't
Because not
interrupt you
only
because
you're also English second language, which is also another challenge, and but we value you here, and so we want you to go ahead.
thank you. I wanna say that every one of you has a seed for me, and you give the seed to each other like that, and I watch you, and I trying to make a panorama, something like this.
A garden. We're a garden.
Yes, with the garden.
Yeah. Yeah. Louis Therese, did you have your hand up?
There's something I had a request. In the future, if Darren can talk to us about her interaction with horses,
Yes.
because I think she is so closely related to them, and I think she can share with us such a lot of things that horses can play or did play a role in our normal community and with the interaction of humans, especially the horse interaction with a human. And I'd like to hear more about that. I had a great curiosity about that because the few times I had interaction with a horse, I was amazed and astonished by how sensitive they are. And she working every day with him and had the interaction. If in future, if she can share some thoughts about that with us.
That's
Louis
perfect.
Therese, I love that. Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
seeing that about me and sensing that. And yeah, animals are not a mystery to me, but humans are. So I'm here trying to learn how to be a human. I don't think I've done it very often. I think I'm a very young soul, and I think I must come from some planet where there's just animals. But I know this group loves talking about
Yeah,
animals. I mean, if I know this group, I know y'all love your animal communication. So maybe that's a good idea, Louis. We could do a little more on that subject. Yeah.
That would be great. And Durin, just let us know when you think you're ready to focus on that, and we'll set up a date for a Thoughts on Thursday to start with that.
Okay.
It's funny. I'm here at Barb's, and this is where I had my first session with reconnective healing. And the first thing that happened to me is I overcame, or I was granted a healing for my cat allergy. I was terribly allergic to cats for many years.
Mm.
And then her cats insisted on getting up on the bed with me while I was having my session. And I've never had a problem ever since. And here I am cat sitting them. So. It's crazy, you know.
Yes, I would like to say something, and to Anke is she mustn't beat herself up because she is still young, and we forget about that we are all actually had experienced life and things like that. And there is many of the topics or things that we are talking about that had included more years of experience of and understanding and things that you had gone through that bring insight into your life. So she mustn't beat herself up if she don't understand everything. But yes, I think it is wonderful for Chelsea to say, slow us down if there is really something that you can't follow, because that is, I see that is really necessary for her to join in and to learn. I can say, she can have the experience without going through the sadness of the experience, the benefit of that. I think she's very privileged. And just to say, Chelsea, you look awesome today.
It's unanimous, Chels.
You know what I've been doing? I've been getting some sunshine.
What a
And
thought.
the nails is like the blouse.
I've been purposely getting out into the sun. I'm just finding it's healing in 10 minutes at a time. And I was just thinking about it because about the animals and how it's so cute the way they all go out and find their spot in the sun for 10 minutes. It's like 80 degrees out there right now, but we were just out there. But it's so fun how they're doing the sunbathing too in their own little spot.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the minute I get out of my chair, they have to all come in. But
Uh, well, I think I'm going to have to set my timer and get some outdoor time because I'm always seeking the next doorway to get in out of the weather. And I wasn't raised to be outdoorsy, but I may embrace it here in my 70s. We'll see. Yeah. Well, this has been great today. Oh, Anka, say one more. Yeah, say one more thing.
How is to be mommy for four dogs at the same time?
uh, five, you know,
Five? Oh.
yeah, five. But ask Gordy. I wish he could speak because he's half the parent too. But um, it's like one big dog. But I will say, with them being Pekingese, it over the last year, I have slowed down on their grooming and letting them get matted over a couple days, but and stuff like that. With I don't know, there's just something about being 54. I don't have the same energy as I did when I was like 52, but it's fun. It's a slice in time where I went through menopause. I went through menopause. That's what happened. Mini pause.
Mini pause. I used to say it's when we give men a pause. Well, this has been delightful. Thank you so much for joining us today. Barb will probably get this edited and up when she's back from her travels in about probably 10 days. We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.